Hello, freak bitches.
You know, Steven Crowder wanted to sue me, too.
Why do you want to sue you?
He wanted to sue me. We were on the same network for a while on YouTube, and it was called Polypop. And the guy that was like my assigned, I forget what the position's called, the fucking facilitator or whatever the fuck, he had the same one as I did, and he told me, you know, that video you made about Steven Crowder and that shit, because he got in a fight with some union guy on footage, and he was like, I was attacked by this union thug, and I
punched him.
I looked at the footage, and I'm like, wait a minute, this guy gets up from the ground, he's facing away from you. It looked like someone pushed him from behind.
Did you see the whole video?
Yeah.
Well, the beginning of it, the guy threw a punch at him.
Well, the guy was on the fucking ground.
At one point.
Yeah, like, but you don't really see what happens with him.
Well, you see the guy throw a punch at him first. I'm very familiar with the video.
I don't know. I looked at it.
No, the guy's in his face.
Can we maybe see the video?
The guy's in his face. The guy comes close to him. They get into some sort of a grappling situation where the guy like physically manhandles him.
All right, hold on. This is on Crowder's channel. I want to see there's like an unedited version of this somewhere.
But you could see the full altercation when it does happen.
Let's take a look.
Even on Crowder's channel. Like, go scroll ahead a little bit. I want to get to, I'll tell you what, that's the guy. That's the guy who hits him.
Oh, wait.
It's the guy's telling him to back the fuck up. So he puts his hands up.
Hold on. No, that's the guy
up.
that fights him right there. The guy with the mustache.
Which guy?
The mustache dude. And you see
this guy. Okay.
You see that?
Uh-huh.
Like, there's like a missing piece of footage there. But in the footage I saw, you don't see that guy attack him first. You see that guy get up from being on the ground on his stomach.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So something happened.
And so what I was thinking is,
he threw the guy to the ground.
Did Steven Crowder push this guy? I don't know, because there's no footage on there. But I surmised, based on what I looked at in the footage, that this guy was maybe pushed and then got up and then started wailing on Crowder.
Interesting.
And I put that out there, and here's the interesting thing. He said he was going to sue me for what I said about it. He then later went to court, and a judge looked at the footage and kind of came to the same conclusion I did and said, I don't think that this went down the way you're saying based on the footage I see. He lost that court case, and then he had to drop any sort of idea of a lawsuit against me because a judge had already ruled that the tape was bullshit, didn't really show what he thought it should. There's also instances where I challenged him to debates back in the day, not recently, but he would never acknowledge me. I mean, one time he did send his like little brother after me.
His brother?
Yeah, like I don't know if it was his younger brother or his older brother. I think it was his little brother. Was like, you're a fucking faggot or whatever. I'm like, why won't your brother debate me? Because we were at the time on the same network.
Like, you're saying he sent him after you physically?
No. Just on Twitter.
Oh, okay. You got to specify that.
I'm sorry.
I'm thinking two dudes are looking at each other outside a bar.
He didn't come and try to fucking fuck me up or anything. He just talking shit on Twitter.
So he talked shit on Twitter. You sure that's Steven's brother?
It was.
Okay.
Yeah, it was Steven's brother. But Steven himself has never taught. I've made several videos about him. Maybe not several, like 3. But he's never confronted me. Polypop tried to get us to do a debate at the time. He wouldn't do it.
That seems weird.
And it's weird because, like, he's Mr. Like, I'm going to go, like, he just trolled Cenk Uygur the other day, you know?
I thought that was funny. His impression of Cenk Uygur is fucking funny.
It is pretty spot on.
The one that he did where he played Anna and Cenk back and forth.
I didn't see that.
Oh, fucking pull it up. He'll let us use it. Look, I like Steven Crowder. I do. I really do. I think he's a good guy. I just, you know, he's a little bit heavy on the right wing. He gets a little silly.
Yeah.
But he does some funny shit like this. And when he crashed Cenk's thing, like, the saddest thing was how Cenk was responding to it. Like, he didn't have any sense of humor about it.
Well, Cenk obviously takes himself very seriously for some reason.
They didn't mean any AR-27s. Do the research. That's absolutely correct. We'll have it listed at GeoCities.
Yes, I agree with you, Cenk. So fucking much.
That's absolutely right. When you use the F word, you know it's real talk.
I said fuck.
So we have a bunch of people who
anyway, you can see it online, and at one point he's pouring bacon grease down his mouth. I just thought it was funny.
I think it's pretty funny.
And it's look,
dude, I recently,
you gotta be able to make fun of yourself.
I recently sat down. We did this we went and watched a bunch of Young Turks videos so we could put out this special Drunken Peasants versus the Young Turks video. We shot about 5 hours of us watching Young Turks videos and just tearing them apart. And one of the things I noticed is what Cenk will do, and watch for this if you're ever watching his shit. he'll have his panel say something that's like super crazy left wing. Like someone will say it, like Anna will say it, or one of the Stephen O, or whatever, whoever he's got on, Ben Mankiewicz, whatever. They'll say something that's real far left wing, and then it'll cut to Cenk, and Cenk will have more of like a moderate left wing opinion, and then it'll go back to them, and they'll immediately capitulate to Cenk, like, "Oh yeah, Cenk, you're what you're saying is way more sensible than what I said a second ago." And I just saw that pattern recurring over and over and over again. So I don't know if that's like by design, or if they feel like the need to capitulate to him because they're maybe scared of him or something.
Yeah.
Or what?
There's definitely a lot of emotions going on there too. There's a lot of emotion in the way they describe things, and some people, I think, at least initially connected to that, but then they see where it gets problematic if you're dealing with any like really serious issue and you want to debate just the facts, like, and have your ducks in a row.
The wool over my eyes was the Harris debate, of course. Like most people.
Exactly.
That was like the first like major chink in the Cenk Uygur armor.
Yeah, I never know how to pronounce his first name, so when you said it that way, I was like,
Cenk.
You kind of.
I think it's pronounced Cenk.
Cenk in the Cenk Uygur.
Cenk in the Cenk.
Yeah.
There we go.
I think he's a good guy. I like talking to him too. I just think people handle certain types of confrontation and disagreements, and they don't handle them the best way they could. And then those things escalate and they compound, and then it becomes who you are, and then you're defending who you are, and then you're always trying to argue with people about who you are and what you've done, and like that's when you're gone.
Yeah.
That's when you're over the top. It's like, we've done this, we've done that, and we've done this, we've done that. Like, hey, you're talking about shit that's happening in the world. That's all you're doing. That's all any of us are doing. That's all anybody's doing. Unless you're out there digging wells in the Congo with Justin Wren, what you're doing is you're talking about shit.
Yeah.
So if you got a bunch of people listening to you talk about shit, it's just talking about shit. At the end of the day, you don't get any extra points because more people are listening or more people are watching. Your point isn't more valid. Your point still has to stand up in the marketplace of ideas.
Yeah.
And yours is just as valid as his, is just as valid as mine. It just, if the delivery system is a bigger delivery system, it doesn't mean that like everybody has to stop and take you into account because you've had more success in this market.
Yeah.
Like that's a crazy way of looking at shit.
Sure.
And when him and Alex Jones battle back and forth between who gets the most viewers and who has the most, like, holy shit, this is ridiculous. Like, did you see when Alex went onto the stage at South by Southwest? Is that what it was? South by Southwest?
I think so.
Yeah, last year. It was hilarious.
Oh yeah, that was one of the greatest trollings of all time.
But Cenk got so mad.
Oh,
He's
furious.
screaming and yelling, "You fucking dumbass!
That little,
we oppose Saudi Arabia!"
That little weasel Jimmy Dore spitting on
that's so unfortunate.
Fucking Alex Jones, dude.
You know what's unfortunate? That guy Jimmy Dore does some good stuff.
Yeah.
I've seen some of his stuff too. This is a really good. He's put some really good videos up. He's done some really good work.
Yeah.
People aren't perfect.
I don't really care for him, but
you recognize that some of his stuff's really good, right?
I've never seen the stuff that's good. Maybe it's out there. I haven't seen it.
I've seen him make some good points, very good points.
You know, when he was covering the whole Milo thing, he played a very deceptive version of the Milo clip, and he credited us basically as a podcast, and
well, that's
talked
silly.
about us as like we're doing this podcast from a basement somewhere or something.
Meanwhile, isn't it funny that a podcast like yours, which gets hundreds of thousands of downloads, I'm sure, right? Like if it was more than that, he would have to say the name of the podcast, right? Like if he was on the Adam Carolla show, he would say the Adam Carolla show.
Sure.
But because it's yours, even though he knows what it's like I'm not going to give these guys the credit.
And you know, a lot of the media did that to us. There was like transcripts of the Milo episode where it was like, and then unknown host said this. It's like, fuck you.
I'm not in a bunker.
What? You guys can't just look it up? Aren't you supposed to be like journalists? Can't you figure out what the fuck the podcast was?
And I saw ones that attributed stuff to me, but then had stuff of yours. Yeah. Where they didn't even, I didn't know that you guys had him on. I thought that all the shit was coming from my podcast. Because I got a text message from my friend Chris McGuire informing me of all of it. And so I went and I said, well, this isn't even my podcast. And then I realized, like, oh, he was on your podcast too, and they combined the two different things.
I even saw people say, like, he was on Joe Rogan's Drunken Peasants podcast. It's like, wow, people are supposed to trust you for fucking information. You're supposed to be a fucking credible source. You can't even get this basic shit right.
So
the media is a fucking joke.
Well, the media now is.
It's a total fucking joke.
There's like a few places we could still trust.
Like where?
I'm hoping you had the answer to that.
Dude, because you know what? People come to me all the time and they're like, TJ, what news media outlet do you trust? I'm like, none of them. I don't trust a single goddamn fucking thing any of these institutions have to say.
Whatever Megyn Kelly has to say, I'm listening.
Oh, Megan.
I'm in.
Megan. You're right about everything, Megan.
That's what I like. Like ice princesses.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Like a mean.
Like a mean, huh?
Mean and smart.
Really?
Not really. No.
I'm like...
No, but I'm fascinated by people who must.